We do have a special guest tonight, Dave. Can you introduce everybody to him?
Yes, this is Martheus Anton Wade. Say hi. You're live.
Hey, I finally got in. Hey, and I got a video now. So, I think I unbroke the internet with my face this time.
Awesome. Very
Yeah.
cool. So Anton's going to join us here at the beginning just for a little bit. We're going to talk just a little bit about some of his art and his career just briefly and tell people where they can learn obviously more about Anton and Wade's World and all the fun things he's got going on. So Anton and I have known each other for, it seems like a very long time.
Years. Yeah, gazillion years, man. Hey, it was before both of us were gray, man.
That's true.
It was before both of us had gray hair. That was a while ago.
A little while ago.
I actually had hair then too. So yeah. Just a little bit.
Very cool. So I want to oh, well, we've got a comment already.
Hey, cool. Thank you. It's a fun video.
So Jane Shink says that I enjoyed your video, Anton. And for those of you who followed along, I think most people know that Jane is actually my mom. So nice that my mom's here. So Anton, since I think for as long as I've known you, you've been working on Jeddah, but I know that you have a new project you're working on now that you've been primarily promoting. Would you want to tell people more about Shinobi, Ninja Princess, or do you want to tell them about Jeddah? I'm assuming the latter.
It's probably Shinobi Ninja Princess. That's where I've been concentrating most of my stuff for lately. Jeddah, it's a part of the same kind of universe, but it's just a funner part of the universe that I like. You know what I'm saying? So, and ironically, it's a part of the story that I wanted to tell in the first place. But just talking to the industry, some guys in the industry earlier on, they were just like, that wouldn't sell. So that's what I ended up changing it to. I changed it to Jeddah to see if it sell, and it did. But eventually, I came back around and did the other thing.
Okay. Well, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I know that you've been working on the Toshigawa Universe now for many, many years. But one of the other things I want to talk about just briefly is you've worked on a lot of other fun projects too. So one of the things I wanted to mention, because I thought my co-host would find it particularly interesting, is you did the tie-in sort of comic that went along with the film Role Models, correct?
Yeah. That was real fun, man. That's when I was doing stuff with IDW. The cool thing about that is that I turned that whole comic around in a week. So it was pretty crazy, pretty grueling, man. But I got a chance to interact, through email with the actors and stuff like that too, and the director. I can't remember. He was like one of the writers. He wasn't the director. He was like one of the writers or something like that. And being able to work with them and get the likenesses down and stuff like that. Ironically, it was supposed to be drawn. They wanted me to draw it in a specific way. They wanted me to draw it like a kid, if I was a kid. So I drew everything at first with my left hand. And it did, because I'm right-handed. So, and it didn't, they said, well, okay, cool. That looks cool. What would this look like if you had to draw the characters, for real, like straight out? So I drew a version of the character straight out, and then it was just like, no, let's just go with that. So it was real fun. It was fun, man. The actual project came from it was supposed, if you watch the movie, there's a kid in there and he's like real, like mannish. He's like adult headed, you know what I'm saying? He's always looking at women's breasts and stuff, but it's from his point of view. So that's why they wanted me to draw it as a kid. But then they said they saw how I drew the actors and stuff, and then they were just like, no, let's just go with that one, which is really cool. So
did you have a lot of likeness issues in that? Did they have the licensing for all the likenesses?
Or
was that an issue?
it wasn't an issue. Really, the only 2 likenesses that I ended up having to do were, oh man, the little kid, I forgot what his name is, and the guy who I keep calling him Stifler. I want to call him Stifler, but that's an old joke right there, boy.
Yeah.
But him and the little kid were the only 2 likenesses that I had to do. Everybody else was made up. Because everybody else was like, it was like a woman and a child, a dude walking down the street. This person is driving a VW Bug. You know what I'm saying? It was pretty much they were made up. That might be the answer to why the other actors were not in the book, were not in the tie-in book, because maybe they didn't have the licensing issues didn't have licensing issues with those 2 actors, but everybody else they did, because Paul Rudd was in there too, and that would have been awesome nowadays to be able to say, hey man, I drew Paul Rudd in Role Models. That would have been awesome.
Right.
We had Dave and I worked on a comic book tie-in as well. I was the associate producer for a feature film called Occupants. And Dave actually did the official movie tie-in, and we had like the opposite, where we had way too many likenesses. in that
Oh, really?
Yeah, because that was one of the rewards you could get as a backer, was we would put you in the book, and it became a very popular reward. So we had to put likenesses like crazy in it. And then we do have a comment here that Joss is back, and he said the ceiling fans are giving you guys some serious halos.
Hey, worldly.
So you guys are angels from above, right?
That's just the glare off my bald head.
So I did want to mention that because I thought that was really interesting, that project that you worked on. I thought that was really cool. But another thing that's really amazing you got to do is, I know you actually were able to take your creator-owned character and actually have Jetta actually cross over with Billy Tucci's character, She. And that's something really awesome that you've done as well. So
that was like a dream project right there. Just because Billy Tucci was responsible for there even really being a Jetta in the first place, to tell you the truth. I mean, he broke down like self-publishing while he was getting acupuncture at like a Dragon Con one time, and he was at his booth. He was just getting acupuncture, and I walked up with my portfolio, and I was just like, I'm a She fan, and I had some She illustrations in there, and in the way back, I had some Jetta stuff, like some really early Jetta stuff, and it was like maybe like one drawing, tell you the truth. And because really, the reason why I put it back there is because I didn't think anybody was going to go that far in the portfolio. So, because they go usually halfway, maybe even halfway. And then they'll be like, all right, that's cool. Let me tell you what this, and that, blah, blah, blah. So I put her in the back. But he went like all the way through the portfolio, and he got back to the back of the portfolio. And he was like, oh, that's a cool character. Well, who was that? And I was like, man, it's a creator-owned character. This is my son. His name is Anakin. He's all in the shot.
Hello.
Stuff you need to get out the way. This ain't about you. This ain't about you.
Hey, I have kids too. I get it. I have kids too, and I get it. I totally get it.
But no. So he was like, oh man, you need to. Is this your character? And I was like, yeah. I was really trying to get work. You know what I mean? Like that's. Right. When I first got in, I was like, man, self-publishing is crazy. I don't want to try that. I just want to get in. I want to get work. So I was there to get work. So I was trying to get him to go back to the front of the portfolio. I was like, hey man, that's I don't want to do nothing with that. Let's look at the She stuff so you can hire me to draw some stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he was like, no, let's talk about this. So he broke down like how he started, self-publishing and, the money aspect of it versus like, the risk reward. It was a long, like it turned into a long, like weird type of, information dump, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I look back at it and I was just like, dude, that was pretty cool, because you don't get that nowadays. You wouldn't, like, if you walked up to like somebody, like that and be like, hey man, can you break down your business strategy? They'd be like, man, shut up, man, get out of here. You got something for me to sign? But he broke down business strategy. And then fast forward, a couple years after that, well, not a couple years, a long time after that, I had been publishing for a while. There was this independent crossover called War of the Independents, and I was a part of it. Jetta was a part of it, and there was supposed to be these tie-in crossovers, and Billy Tucci was a part of it as well. And I was like, man, it'd be really cool if I could get Billy Tucci and to agree for me to do a Jetta and a She crossover for this event. So I talked to my boy Dave Ryan, and he was over it. So he put me on the phone with Billy Tucci, and we talked, and we came up on a deal and stuff like that. He was just like, well, he was like, all right, well, pitch me the story first, because the story was real important, was going to be real important. So I was a long-time She fan anyway. So I was like, all right, cool. So I mixed together the Jetta lore and the She lore and the Toshigawa and the Sohei monks, and put them together and their history together, and pitched that to him. And he was like, dang, man, you really kind of did some research. I was like, it's not research. I've just been reading this book for a long time.
Right.
So he was like, yeah, cool, let's do it. So the cool thing about it is that I got a chance to write it and draw it. So at first I was thinking, he did the cover. What I was thinking was going to happen is that we're going to share the writer credit. So I would write some of it, and then he would come back and then write some, and then I'll come back and write something like that, back and forth. I was thinking about that, but he was like, nah, man, you just go ahead and write it. You got a good feel for it. So I wrote it. I sent him a draft of it. He had a couple of tweaks. He tweaked a little bit of it, and that was it. You know what I mean? And most of it was like tweaking on, like she has this, her padding looks like this. It wasn't really anything like story-wise, like, that can't happen. You know what I mean? Because this over here, and some dialogue I was kind of worried about, because it was like She deep cuts, like there were like background characters that I actually hinted at in conversation between the two characters, you know what I mean? Trying to make a correlation. And he was cool with it, which was I didn't know how to take it. I was like, oh, cool, that's pretty awesome, And still today, we if I see him at a con, I'm like, hey, what's up, man? He's like, what's up? Man, we talk and stuff like that. And every once in a while I hit him up online or something like that. So yeah, man, that was probably, I think, one of the highest points in doing comics, I think, was just that, you know what I mean? Just because, and it wasn't like the money aspect, it was just because the collaborative aspect and being able to see something that you do come full circle,
Yeah.
And like,
We have a comment there from the chat, and Josh says, giving you creative free range is awesome.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Yeah, it was really, I wasn't used to that, you know what I mean? Because like I said, I come from a place where, well, you know this too, Dave, in being in graphic design, is that it's always a collaborative effort. I mean, it's one of those things where you put an idea out there and you might think it's the best thing, but an editor will come along, or a boss or something will come along, or your art director that's over you will come along, creative director, whatever, and they'll say, oh, no, that won't work because it needs to be green. And then they'll throw your whole idea out. It's like, dang, man, this whole thing is red, man. And you said it's going to be green. It's not going to be. Okay, let me rethink it. You know what I mean? So just being able to get that, creative freedom. I think the real big thing is just having him trust me to be able to do the right things by the character. You know what I mean? That was really cool too. So yeah.
Very cool. So if you wouldn't mind, give us the elevator pitch for Shinobi Ninja Princess for people that are hopefully watching at home? What's the elevator pitch for it?
The elevator pitch is that it is Young Justice meets Naruto, essentially. It's about a 14-year-old girl. Her name is Shiandria Toshigawa. She is the heir to lead the Toshigawa Ninja Clan. And she is on the run from another ninja clan named the Azumi Ninja Clan, who are trying to capture her and turn her over to her father, who rules Japan. So, and they do this by like incorporating Onis, other monsters, and things like that. So it's a futuristic tale with feudal Japan trappings. You know, it has a lot of traditional ninja stuff in it, but it's in a futuristic setting. You know, the latest story that I did was kind of like a Christmas story, and it was all set around the illuminations during modern day Christmas in Japan. You know, Christmas in Japan is like this huge date night thing over there. So it was kind of about that, and it's just about Shiandria and his other character named Hamasuke getting to know each other. So but it's all modern. It's all in a modern day. It's not like in feudal Japan. You know.
Very cool. Very cool.
That sounds very cool. Joss also says world building.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A lot of world building there.
It's a whole lot of world building, man. It's more so, I would say the world building more so in this one, because in Shinobi Ninja Princess, because there's a lot more to explore than it was in Jeddah. Even though, okay, so for you guys that don't know, because most of you guys probably don't know, is that Shiandria Toshigawa and Jeddah are the same people. It's just that Jeddah's grown, Shiandria's 14. So there is a generational little thing going on here, and we get to actually see how one character progress into who she ends up being at the end, kind of. And when I started, if anybody ever went back and read the Jeddah comics, it was more Bad Girl-esque, because that was the times. You know what I'm saying? It was more that. Less so, it was a lot of action, a lot of martial arts, a lot of that, but less so world building. Like, it was like you had these characters, they did these things, and they dealt with these bad guys, and that was pretty much it. You know what I mean? She had one mission, and you followed her on that mission for like 4 books. You know, this is different. This is about her life and the life of the people around her and how they intertwine with each other. As well as the bad guys. So you get to see like the bad guys. The reason why they don't like the good guys, the good ninja Toshigawa clan, is because, you know, Toshigawa clan is rich. They're poor. You know what I mean? They had to take mob contracts to be able to, you know, do things, while the Toshigawa can live pretty much in secrecy, because they don't have to worry about making money so much. You know, they got riches. So then you get a chance to be able to see, you know, Onis and how the Onis interact with the people, and, you know, the different regions of Japan that are that the characters inhabit, and stuff like that. It's you know, it's a lot more fun. Like, it's just that's how I just describe it. For me, it's a lot more fun to create.
Very cool. Very cool. So I just wanted to bring Anton on the show tonight, and I wanted to turn everybody on to his work and what he's doing. He's been doing some really great stuff for a really long time. I want to encourage everyone. Definitely, we've got the link up there to the website. Check out what he's got going on. Anton's been selling some original art, some really nice pieces actually recently. They're totally worth picking up. They're really great. He's got a lot of cool stuff happening. I just wanted to turn people on to what Anton's doing, and just encourage everyone, go check out, see what he's got going on, support him as an independent creator. So I just want to encourage everybody to go do that. So
I appreciate it. I hope you do. And I'm always around. I'm always on Facebook. I'm always on, you know, I'm not on Twitter. Twitter's too volatile, man. People just People just are angry on Twitter, man. I went on there and I got angry for like 5 minutes. I was like, man, I can't be on here, man. It's just angry. But I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. You know what I mean? And now I'm on YouTube too. I'm doing a YouTube show with my son, so called Wade's World. So that's been real fun too. So just give me a yell, and I'm always up to talk comics.
Very cool. Town, before you go, I just wanted to say, I don't know if Dave has told you, but we've been experimenting with a new segment called the Rogues Writers Room. And listening to you talk, I feel like you'd be perfect for a future segment. I think, Dave, you're going to be totally into that. A future segment of the Rogues Writers Room. Basically, we take shows we don't really like or we have an issue with, and we try to fix them. So I think in a future episode, that'd be a lot of fun for us to try to play with. Yeah,
most definitely, man. Hit me up. I'm all about, like, especially in these times of Corona. The thing that we cannot say, we're not supposed to say on the internet for some reason. I don't know,
but you mean this? We're not supposed to say this?
No. But yeah, man, just because I'm always trying to interact, especially with more artists and stuff like that, trying to interact and talk and it could be a lonely world, especially nowadays, just sitting here drawing sometimes. So I just like to be able to socialize as much as I possibly can on the web. So yeah, I'll be up
Anton,
to that.
Speaking of that, one of our friends, PJ from Orville Nation, he just came on to say hi to us. He's a friend of us.
Hey.
He has a much larger platform than we do. So I'm going to try to kind of introduce you to here now online, PJ. If you want to maybe have a guest sometime, because PJ has guests on his show all the time, but great channel, Orville Nation. And he's a big leader in the community as far as getting people exposure, exposing other channels, exposing other creators. But PJ, we love you and wanted to say hi and check out Antoine's stuff. I have the link to his site in the chat. So
give me a yell. Like I said, I'm always down to talk. And I need exposure, the good exposure, not the bad ones that you see all on Instagram. I don't need.
You don't want the infamy, Anton. You don't want the infamy.
No, I don't want that. No, I stay away from it. I don't want that. I don't need that either. That'll bring down my creative stock a lot with that type of stuff.
And PJ said he'll sub, so he's going to check out your stuff. By the way, PJ's excellent, man. Okay, cool. I can only say good things about. I've been on his channel. Dave, you've been on his channel, so he's like our biggest supporter. You know what I mean, as far as the YouTube community and stuff like that. So
awesome. Well, yeah, man. I'm like I said, I'm just getting started on mine on Wade's World. I got like 3 videos up. And they were they were doing when I was actually doing them, they were filmed on multiple different cameras. So what you end up seeing is that when you see it, it's like different quality. The quality will drop, then it suddenly go up, and then it'll drop, and then it'll suddenly go up. So we're trying to get that worked out, but.
I've been keeping all of my various phones when I upgrade, because one of these days what I'm going to do is I'm going to use them to like do a multicam kind of thing. But I've been thinking my solution's going to be is I'll like have one like set on like a highly polarized, like a sepia tone or something, so it looks like an artistic choice instead of it's like, well, we're going to cover this camera's not very good. Right. We're going to make it look like I meant for it to look like this.
Right. Yeah. I might try. Shoot, I should have tried that. Now I can't do it because I gave it away online. That's what my idea was. But yeah, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to have as much fun as I possibly can, man. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's like with
we owe now.
Yeah, well, that's like with Retro Rogues and Red Skirts and everything I'm doing right now. I've just been trying to enjoy my time, and enjoy being creative. So,
right, that's my big thing, man. That's the reason why I went from doing Jetta to back to doing Shinobi Ninja Princess, man. Which just like, man, I need to have some fun again, man. It's just, it was, being deep in the creative process of comics, man, it could really like drain you. You know what I mean? It drains you like emotionally, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I just got to the point where I was like, dude, I gotta have some fun again. I got a little boy. I want to write something that he's going to be able to pick up and read too, and I put him in the book, and I was just like, man, this is fun. Let's just do this.
Right.
So, yeah.
Very cool.
It's working out so far.
Good. So I don't want to keep you on here too much longer. Like I said, just wanted to have you come on the show and wanted to, make people aware of what you're doing and encourage people to support you and check out what you've got going there. I mean, it's we're all about independent creators here on the Retro Rogues. So thank you for being on the show.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
And I definitely want to invite you
guys,
for a future segment when we do that writer's room again. I would love to try to do that with you. I think that would be a lot of fun. So
cool. Give me a yell. Like I said, if I'm not beating up my son around here, then I'm drawing. Don't call child services on me. I was just kidding.
Very cool. Cool.
But yeah, just give me a thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on, man.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on, Anton. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.